Hey Comets! Today we're going to be making sculptures and practicing paper folding. For this project you'll need scissors, some kind of glue, doesn't have to be glue stick, and lots of different kinds of paper. Whatever you have at home is fine. You can see my construction paper has been drawn on, doesn't matter. I've got some old wrapping paper, and I've got random notebook paper, and I've even got a magazine to tear some pages out of. Whatever paper you have at home is fine. It can be all the same or different, whatever you need. This first fold we're going to practice is called an accordion fold. I'm going to cut a long strip of paper from any of the papers that I've got available. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. But to start my accordion fold, I'm going to fold the top part of my paper over and pinch. Then I'm going to fold it the opposite way and pinch. And I'm going to keep going back and forth, and I start to get a zigzag shape. I'm going to go down the entire length of my paper, back and forward, and then I have my accordion or zigzag fold. The next fold we're going to practice is called a fan fold. I'll need a fatter piece of paper for this. It could be a rectangle or a square. It's a lot like our accordion fold, except that instead of folding the short way, I'm going to fold the long way. I'm going to fold a nice, skinny, long fold, and then the same as my accordion fold, I'm going to go back and forth the long ways. And then when I'm finished, I can pinch it at one end, and I've got a fan. I can fold it up so that this side stays pinched, and I have a fan fold that I can use in my sculpture. This next fold is called a tab fold. Again, I'm going to need a long strip of paper, and I'm going to start cutting small cuts about an inch apart all the way down my strip of paper. When I cut in to create my tab, I'm only going to cut halfway up the paper. I don't want to cut all the way across. And again, I'm just going to go all the way down, cutting about an inch apart. Your tabs can be different sizes if you want. It doesn't matter. Next, I'm going to fold one of my tabs and fold it up, and then take the next tab and fold it back. I'm going to keep going back and forth, opposite direction each time. And my paper starts to get these little feet, almost like a centipede. Then when I put it down on the table, I could glue all those little feet down in whatever form that I want. Our next form will be a spiral. I'm going to use my wrapping paper for this one, but again, whichever paper you have is fine. You're going to cut a long strip out of your paper. Again, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And for this, you will either need your finger or a pencil. I've got a crayon that I'm going to use, but your finger will work just fine. And you're going to roll the paper around your finger, wrapping it like a Band-Aid, all the way around your paper, really as tight as you can without ripping it. I'm going to use my crayon. Again, I'm going to wrap it tightly around my crayon or my pencil, as tight as I can get without ripping it, all the way down my paper. When I get to the end, I'm going to squeeze it with one of my hands, make sure it's really, really wrapped on tight, and then I can pull it off. When I pull it off, I'll have this awesome spiral shape. The tighter you wrap your spiral and the more you squeeze it, the tighter your spiral will be. Our last fold we're going to practice is called a pop-up fold. It's a bit tougher than our other ones, but just follow along with me. You're going to fold your paper in half. It could be long ways or short ways, whichever way you would like. It's going to be a little bit like our tab fold. We're going to take our scissors and without cutting all the way through, we're going to make small cuts on the fold. These ones are going to be closer together than our tabs, but again, you could space them further apart depending on how you want yours to look. I'm going to go all the way down my strip of paper with my cuts, and then I'm going to start this part. It's a little tricky. I'm going to pop out the second piece, my second cut. I'm going to pop it out the back and then pinch that crease so that it's going the opposite way. And now I have this sort of diamond shape. I'm going to keep doing that every other one. So I'm going to skip one and then pop out the fourth one, skip one and pop out the sixth one. Right here, I realized I had made a mistake. My tabs were starting to pop out of the direction that I wanted them to, and I needed to crease the edges. So I went back and folding my tabs the opposite way, I squeezed it together to sort of crease those edges as well as the middles. Again, this is a tougher fold. You might have to practice it a couple times, but you should definitely try it because it does make a very cool diamond 3D tube shape when you're finished. A very cool piece to use in your sculpture. Ms. McGuire makes mistakes, we all make mistakes, and we all have to try again until we get it the way we want it to be. You've got it, Comets. Try your best. All right, time to get building. I'm going to practice all those different folds that I just used. I want you to try and do at least 2 of each of them. You can make different shapes and try different folds. Any of the ones that you want to make up or that are your own, you are absolutely welcome to use. But I want you to at least try those folds that I showed you twice. You can see here I'm making a tube shape. That's one that I didn't show you, but I bet you could figure it out. And I'm just making all different kinds of shapes for my sculpture. Again, I'm using magazines and different construction paper. Whatever kind of paper you have at home is fine. A little tip for when you start to glue your sculpture. If you're using liquid glue, you only need a tiny dot of glue wherever you're going to use it. Liquid glue, you just don't need as much as you think you do. You can see here I'm using one paper for the base, and then I'm just starting to glue all my different pieces onto my paper sculpture. You can do them in whatever order you want, but I want you to at least use 2 of each of those folds. So you can see I have 2 zigzags, I'm adding my fan fold, and in the end I'll have 2 of each. Again, if you want to use your own folds that you know how to make, absolutely add those on. Have fun building your sculptures, Comets, and I can't wait to see the results.